Leave me out of it. OK, Port Adelaide came to Melbourne today to unveil their new sponsorship. They did so at the MCG. It was quite the stamp to move out of Alberton, to move out of that postcode and to be national with an international sponsor.
We're doing things differently by being here at the MCG. I've said right from the start that we've got to think bigger as a club. We've got to get out of 5105 as a postcode, and we are a national brand. We're playing in a national competition on the field, and we're playing in a national competition off the field as well. And this represents where we're heading into the future.
Clearly, it's really important for the club to have some success off the field, and today's a great day for the club and one that makes everyone involved with the club feel proud of the club.
We're building a platform that we're going to build this club back up to the success it was in the past.
We've taken great steps forward this year, and with Renault coming on board, it's fantastic for the club, and we're moving in the right direction, and I'm really proud to be a part of that.
Yeah, after a new car?
I hope so. It'd be nice to get a new car to drive around in.
Don't underestimate how important today is, I think, for not only for us as a board, but for the players and for the membership of the club as well. It's a tonic of saying, hey, people believe in us.
And the chairman, David Koch, is with us on AFL 360. David, welcome.
Good evening. Robbo, how are you?
G'day, David. How are you?
Look, I'm well. In fact, I brought you your very own Port Adelaide Guernsey.
Excellent.
Renault on the front, and your famous comments when you hit me with a hockey stick when I was appointed AFL clubs are not a plaything.
Well, they're not.
I know they're not.
They're not. This is when you're living in Sydney.
I'm
you're
still living in Sydney. Exactly right.
I will use this.
Good.
And I won't tell you. I'm only joking.
No, you weren't.
No. Oh, well, no.
The time, the hockey stick, yeah.
No, I didn't think that was appropriate. No, I didn't. I still stand by it.
Why?
Well, I think football clubs they're a unique business. They're a business, but they're a unique business. And you're talking about people involved. You're just talking about the two coaches, right?
Yep.
Kenny Hinkley and Alan Richardson and what great people they are. Football clubs, I think, really need contact, physical contact, talking to each other, maybe not so much over the telephone.
Hang on, we've moved on from carrier pigeons and the telex. I'm in Adelaide most Fridays and Saturdays. To give you an idea, last week, Friday and Saturday, I was in Adelaide. Monday, I had my usual Monday video conference with Kevin Osborne, the Deputy Chairman of the board, and Keith Thomas, the Chief Executive. Tuesday, I had a video conference with our events team to talk about game day. Wednesday, we had a video conference with the marketing committee and communications for 3.5 hours, and then back there Friday. So I think you've got to get with it. And the
Get
first...
with what?
Get with technology and the times.
I understand technology.
And things
Technology's
like that.
running over the world. You need human contact.
Let me give you a big you bald-headed nut. How's that? Is that good? There's the human contact for you.
I'm just glad another bald bloke's joined us on the panel. We're now on 3.
You know, the first person to ring me on my appointment was Eddie Maguire, who ran Collingwood for 2 years out of Sydney, running Channel 9, and then Rob Chapman, chairman of the Crows, who was managing director of St George Bank in Sydney for 3 years, and still chairman of the Crows. Come on.
Great to see you, David.
Give me a bit of your own back.
Folks in the chat tonight. How
Jared,
much
how
of
are
today
you?
was David, well, thank you, was getting out of 5014 Alberton?
That's what it was all about. You know, right from the very start, I've said this club and the financial situation isn't a cost problem. We are one of the most frugal clubs in the league. We have I think the second lowest or third lowest spend in terms of football operations. It's a revenue problem, and it's getting. We have to compete in a national competition in the corporate and sponsorship field, like we do on the field as a team, and that's why we restructured the board. Cos Cardone from Maguire, Eddie's business partner, Maguire Media, Melbourne director. I'm in Sydney. Amanda Vanstone joined the board to bring her connections, and we've started these business advisory networks in Melbourne and Sydney of what I call Port Adelaide business expats who have been promoted interstate and have had no connection back with the club. And it's those networks that have helped us get the likes of Renault and our other joint major sponsor, which we'll announce in probably 10 days, 2 weeks.
This is the battle for relevance. I'll never forget, 2 years ago, on a Wednesday night, and I raised Port Adelaide at the time where there were questions about were they the new Fitzroy. And Robbo said to me, and he spoke for a lot of people, he said, I don't care. And you go, in an 18-team competition, you can't have one team that's irrelevant. What is this battle like?
Totally agree. And that's what we're trying to do, is build relevance, build a national brand. We're one of 18 teams in Australia's sport. And we want to be a brand that people interstate may not necessarily have as their first team, but they say to themselves, God, I love watching Port Adelaide play. You know, they're dynamic. They play with a lot of fun. Going to Port Adelaide game is a fun thing to do for families to go to. We want to bring the fun back to football. We want to be innovative. And that's what the link with Renault is all about. They have 4 teams in the F1s that are going to be around here. The other, I'm going to be hanging out with those teams so we can learn how to become a better high-performance sporting business and operation.
I look at the Port Adelaide games on TV and I just hate it when the plastic's over the seats. I noticed today...
They're gone.
30,000 members.
They're gone.
The plastic seats are gone.
They're gone.
They're not the seats, the covers.
Robbo, whoosh, gone.
Well
we have 2 that we're contractually obligated to, but... all the others are gone.
Right, so
because of you.
No, 30,000 members. I mean, hopefully you're going to grow that to what by the season starting? 5 maybe.
Okay, 30,000 last Friday. We're running about 12% ahead of this time last year. We reckon we'll get high 30s. Confident we could crack 40,000.
When have you done that before?
Never.
So how significant is that for the
future? Significant. And that means members, I wish I could give our members a big kiss on the forehead as well, because they're showing so much support for us. They believe in us. As I said, we'll have a second joint major sponsor in about 2 weeks' time. Our next level of sponsorship down, our premier level, will hit budget. Our next level down, key sponsors, will hit budget, and we'll get ahead in memberships.
When there's change in football clubs, a lot of traditionalists go, oh, we don't want this, we don't want this. How have you been able to convince the traditional Port Adelaide supporter that it's so advantageous for us to spread our name and brand to the East Coast?
Easy. It has been... They've all embraced it because they've had a tough couple of years. Even Crow supporters come up to me, not even Crows, but Crow supporters come up to me at the airport or going down Rundle Mall and say, Koshy, good luck. We don't barrack for Port Adelaide, but we want 2 strong clubs because we've got a great footy history in this state. I come to Melbourne, people say, mate, good luck with Port Adelaide. We want strong teams. And, you know, that's been terrific. The support and the confidence, not only from members but outside, has been terrific, apart from you.
If you say that one more time,
you're going to hit me with a hockey stick.
I'll get Barry.
You'll hit me with a hockey stick.
I'll get Barry Hall too. The significance, and 3 weeks ago, the coaching board, Keith Thomas CEO, Kenny Hinckley come over, did a round of media interviews, took a few media people out for lunch, just to give us their impressions of where the Port is and where they're going. The significance of Ken Hinckley, who's just a real people's person, and Alan Richardson coming into that football club.
Stunning. Way better than we even expected.
What did you expect then?
We expected a good, strong coach to come in. We knew we needed a good, strong assistant because of first-time senior coach. We wanted to hedge our bets. Both of them knew each other, had never worked with each other. We had Darren Burgess, fitness, come back from Liverpool FC, one of the best fitness guys in the world. He was in there. These 2, we hoped, would get on and click together. Well, they're like flaming brothers. They just are on the same page. They're our people. They're very values-driven. They're very respect-driven. And what I wanted, the ideal, were good leaders of young men, because that's what we have. We have a team of young men, and we want leaders of young men, and we've got them. And you might laugh at me in 5 years' time.
I'll never laugh at you again.
I can't help, because you get another kiss, and that's daunting. You can't help but think this could be the start of something special.
Well, let's hope it is.
Oh,
because
yeah,
we need strong teams out of South Australia,
Exactly
West Australia,
right.
to compete in this competition.
Too right we do.
The sobering topic and the intangible for Port Adelaide is how, as a football club and a community, you'll deal with the death of John McCarthy from
Yep.
the end of last year. This is played out very publicly with Collingwood, but it's at the home club where
Sure.
it has to be either overcome or harnessed. Now, clearly, Port Adelaide have sought some external advice on how to deal with this. How does the club get through all of this?
Look, we have a duty of care to our players, and we've been very careful in the program we've put in place to support the players. We're working with them for that first game against GWS, round 2, our first home game on April the 6th, to make that a tribute game to John. His family and fiancée, girlfriend is coming back for it, and that will be a very special night. Let me tell you about that. In terms of the other issues that the industry is facing at the moment, we're really conscious, and I'm conscious, that you don't... It's almost as if these young blokes, and they're the same age as my adult children, we almost expect them to lead a monastic life. You know, that there's so much focus, and particularly in Adelaide, there's so much focus on them. It's a one paper, two-team town. But the young guys, they've got to have fun, they've got to let off steam. So I talked to Brad and Travis and their parents. We all sat down and said, OK, what are the structures we can put in place to support you to have a life outside of footy as well? And they've been very fruitful. We've appointed an integrity officer, the first of the AFL clubs to do it since, you know, the press conference a couple of weeks ago, who reports direct to the board, not to the management.
Peter?
Rhodey.
Yeah, Peter Rhodey.
Because I think in that role, with all the different elements that you need, and maybe outside elements influencing criminal elements that we're apparently all vulnerable and at risk to, you need somebody who's been around footy for a while, who has a nose when a player might be getting out of line or might be mixing in the wrong area or might be going astray after games, and also who has his eye on that treatment area. So
Good
that's
choice.
been a good appointment for us.
I know you've got to go back to Adelaide, and I want to go back to this, okay? And I'm not making a joke here. You know, AFL clubs are not a plaything.
Yeah.
Okay, is the expectation on you, David, that you've taken on a big responsibility? This club was low.
Sure.
And you're building.
Yep.
So in your head, have you decided already, round about the time that you're happy to donate your part of your life to this football club? Is it not to win a flag? Is it 5 years, 10 years, or have you decided?
I'm trying to get through the year.
No,
We've had a lot of.
But you can't come in for a year. You can't come in for 1 year.
I know.
And go.
I'm joking. I'm saying.
Sorry,
I'm saying there's so much on the table now to get through.
But what have you set aside? What have you set aside in your life?
What have I said to my wife?
No, set aside to both sides.
It's more.
So that's funny. Now that's funny.
That sounds so surprised. Look, I love building things. I love getting involved in things that I can make a difference and build. When Sunrise started, it was an audience, 20% of the Today Show's audience. We rebuilt that. I'm chairman of the Organ and Tissue Authority on organ transplants in Australia. I helped build that as well. Port Adelaide, I love. It's a family thing. If you want to really know why I'm doing it, it's because my dad would have wanted me to. He played for Port Adelaide. He played for Semaphore Centrals. I've got generations of Port Adelaide supporters. It means a lot to me, emotionally and passionately.
Good to hear.
And I want to turn it around. It is a club that I grew up with Jeff Botley's number on my back, season ticket sitting up in the stand there. It means a lot. And, you know, that's all very joking, but I was a bit offended with it because I thought,
Don't be offended.
Why didn't he call me? Why didn't he ask? Why didn't he look me in the
you're a
eye?
TV superstar.
Like now, oh, get out of here.
Don't swear on our bloody station.
Now,
do you know you've got an hour and 3 minutes to get to the airport?
Yes, I'll be there. Easy.
Great to see you.
Good to see you
Thanks for
anytime.
coming in.
Good on you.
Jared, nice to see. Did you get a word in?
That was a
I'll
good
just
opening.
say-
We'll have you back.
Excellent. What a strange day.
It is.